Published in 1726, Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels is a cornerstone of English satire. The narrative follows Lemuel Gulliver, a ship's surgeon who encounters four extraordinary lands: the tiny citizens of Lilliput, the giants of Brobdingnag, the flying island of Laputa, and the noble horses who rule over the savage Yahoos. What begins as a parody of popular travelogues evolves into a scathing critique of human nature, politics, and the Enlightenment's blind faith in reason. Swift employs a misanthropic stance and a dry, straight-faced, prose style to expose the absurdity of European society. Gulliver's first journey takes him to Lilliput, a land inhabited by tiny people about 6 inches tall. Initially, they capture him, but soon come to trust him for his restraint and cooperation. He learns of their petty political disputes, particularly the rivalry between the Big Endians and Little Endians over the correct way to break an egg. This rivalry satirizes England's religious conflicts. Lilliputian politics are marked by corruption, deception, and arbitrary favoritism, mirroring the absurdity of European court politics. Gulliver helps the Lilliputians defeat their enemies, the Blefuscudians, by dragging their fleet across the sea, demonstrating his immense power. However, he soon falls out of favor because of court intrigues, his refusal to fully subjugate Blefuscu, and a scandal involving his urination to put out a palace fire. The Lilliputian emperor eventually turns against him, and Gulliver flees to Blefuscu before finding a way back to England. Gulliver's next adventure takes him to Brobdingnag, a land of giants where he is the tiny one. He is taken in by a farmer and exhibited as a curiosity before being sold to the queen. Unlike Lilliput, where he was powerful, Gulliver is now weak and insignificant. He experiences firsthand what it means to be at the mercy of others, often facing dangers from giant creatures and the casual disregard of his captors. The Brobdingnagian king listens to Gulliver's accounts of European politics and is appalled by humanity's corruption, greed, and warmongering. He declares that European civilization is nothing but a den of vice and folly. Gulliver, however, remains blind to the satire, stubbornly defending his homeland. This section critiques European arrogance and self-importance. Eventually, an eagle snatches the tiny Gulliver and drops him into the sea, where he is rescued and returns to England. Gulliver's third journey takes him to Laputa, a floating island inhabited by scientists and intellectuals so engrossed in theoretical pursuits that they neglect practical matters. They govern Balnibarbi, a land beneath the island, but their obsession with abstract mathematics and music leads to ineffective policies that ruin the economy and infrastructure. This section satirizes the impracticality of speculative science and the detachment of intellectuals from real-world concerns. Gulliver then visits Glubdubdrib, where he meets the ghosts of historical figures, including Julius Caesar and Aristotle, and discovers how lies and vanity have distorted history. In Lugnag, he encounters the Struldbrugs, immortals who age indefinitely, growing senile and miserable. Their existence serves as a cautionary tale about the desire for eternal life without eternal youth. Eventually, Gulliver reaches Japan, where he secures passage back to England. Gulliver's final voyage takes him to the land of the Houyhnhnms, intelligent, rational horses who govern a society built on reason, truth, and morality. They stand in stark contrast to the Yahoos, filthy, animalistic, human-like creatures who embody greed, vice, and brutality. The Houyhnhnms have no concept of lying, war, or personal ambition, and their society is utopian in its simplicity and harmony. Gulliver becomes enamored with the Houyhnhnms and comes to despise his own species, seeing humans as nothing more than refined Yahoos. He adopts their ways, striving to emulate their rationality and rejecting human society entirely. However, the Houyhnhnms view him as an unnatural being, a Yahoo with intelligence, and decide he cannot remain. Heartbroken, Gulliver is forced to leave and returns to England, but he can no longer tolerate human company. He withdraws from society and spends his days conversing with his horses, believing them superior to mankind. Gulliver's Travels is far more than a children's adventure. It is a profound anatomization of human depravity. Swift's primary motivation was to vex the world rather than divert it, using the 4 voyages to dismantle human pride. Technically, Swift excels at parody, adopting a clinical, seafaring vocabulary that makes the impossible seem mundane. Each of Gulliver's voyages serves as a mirror reflecting distinct aspects of human society. Lilliput satirizes political pettiness and conflict, Brobdingnag critiques European arrogance and moral hypocrisy, Laputa mocks the impracticality of theoretical science, and the Yahoos highlight the tension between reason and human nature. Gulliver's gradual alienation from humanity offers a dark reflection on the limits of reason and morality. His journey ultimately suggests that humans, despite their intelligence, are deeply flawed and often blind to their own follies. With its layered satire and imaginative storytelling, Gulliver's Travels remains a timeless and thought-provoking work.